She later came back with the doctor. Funny enough, the landlady came in with the doctor. "Oh my God, she's awake," the landlady voiced out with joy. "This is a miracle. How is it even possible?" the doctor asked curiously. He quickly adjusted the pile connect from the machine to my chest. I began to breathe fine and move my neck just fine. I believe that was the reason why I couldn't speak. The nurse was watching me with shock from the other corner of the room. It feels like she was scared to come close to me. "You're here," I finally found my voice again. "Yes, I've been here for 10 months praying and taking care of you," she replied, stroking my hair backwards. "What? Have been in coma for 10 months, I screamed, which made the doctor frightened. "Calm down, you need to relax," the doctor emphasized. "Have been here for 10 months, I asked again. "Yes, you were stabbed in a dangerous area, plus the knife was poisoned," the doctor pitched in. "Doctor, is she fine now?" landlady asked. "Yes, she is. Surprisingly, she may be discharged soon," he replied, looking pleased with my improvement. "I would like to take my leave now. If you need me for anything, simply call my attention," he added. "Thank you, Doc," landlady thanked. I could see the happiness on her face. I could tell she had waited for me to be all right. I could tell she was worried. "Thank you so much for being here for me. I could tell you were worried about me." "But I'm fine now, you don't have to worry again," I said, trying to sit upright. "Easy, Gabby, baby steps," she replied, helping me to sit up straight. "Yes, you're right, I was worried about you, but I wasn't the only one worried about you," she added. "What do you mean?" I asked. "Kelvin has been equally worried about you. He has been here much more than I have," she revealed. "Who is Kelvin?" I asked, looking confused. "My son, the one who was in Malawi handling business. He has been here every single day and night bringing you flowers and chocolates," she replied with a smile. Then it dawned on me that I haven't pictured my environment properly. I looked around to see all the gigantic bundle of roses and pretty collection of chocolate around my room. They made the room smell nice and fresh. I began to have flashbacks of his voice and his presence. It felt I could hear his poetic speech over and over again, like he was close to me. "How sweet he is, though I haven't seen or met him, but he's really sweet for treating me well even if I wasn't conscious," I complimented with a bright smile. "Oh my God, you're smiling. This is really nice, haven't seen you smile before," she replied. "My dear, it suits you, you haven't seen anything yet. Kelvin is one of my favorite sons. He is sweet and caring just like his late father. Don't worry, you will smile more when you see him," she added. I blushed a little, putting my face down. "But before that, I have a surprise for you," she uttered. "Surprise? Wait, what really happened? I can't seem to remember everything that happened and how I got here," I asked curiously. I was on my way back from the airport to pick my son. He came back sooner than expected. Already there were more security on the compound and around that area. I really don't know how the assassin bypassed all of them and got into your apartment," she began. "Oh," I exclaimed. "My son Colivin was so eager to meet you after all the nice things I told him about you. The security never knew someone was in your apartment, not until Kelvin got close to your apartment and noticed something off and voices coming out from your apartment at that time of the night. He decided to alert the security. They had to break into your apartment. Though it wasn't easy getting the culprits, but they did after a long struggle, all thanks to God who used my son to save your life," the landlady revealed more. I was shocked how someone else could sense my death, but I couldn't. My powers failed me when I was about to kick the bucket. "Oh my God," I voiced out. "We brought here to start receiving treatment. We thought you wouldn't make it. Kelvin was worried sick about you. He always came here to see you and read books and poems for you. I think it helped you recover quickly," she added. "Wow, I really need to thank Kelvin. He has done a lot for me even if he doesn't know me," I replied. "Save all that for him," she said with a smile. "Where is the culprit now?" "I will need to speak with him," I asked. No need for that, he confessed who sent him, but that's not what you need to know now, she said. Huh? What do I need to know now? I asked. Before I could finish my question, my mother and little sister walked in with some gifts and flowers. I was so shocked and happy at the same time, my world just came alive seeing them. While waiting for the next, they quickly gave me a hug. I have longed for them. We talked to some length and they all left. I was alone in the room thinking and trying to understand what really happened to me, to the point of staying for 10 months. I kept thinking for a while before I fell asleep. Unknown to me, I fell into trance. In that trance, I was walking towards a bright light that flooded the dark room. I got scared, but I just wanted to leave the dark room and go to somewhere with light. Immediately I took a step to the bright light. I was stopped by an unfamiliar face. A very simple and lonely girl. I could tell by the way her face sat pale on her neck, and how she dressed strictly on white garment. "What are you doing?" I asked. "Do you want to lose your gift?" she asked. "I don't understand, I just wanted the light," I replied, looking confused. "That's not an ordinary light, that's the light of mortality. Once you step into that light, you lose yourself to another form and you become pretty normal like every other being on earth. You will never get to have your powers back," she revealed. I knew nothing about that, but why am I here? I asked curiously. "I brought you here. I don't have much time left to guide you," she replied. "What?" I exclaimed. "Have tried to guide you and teach you how to use your powers for a long time, but your mother shut me out. She refused to pay homage to me after gifting a child. Therefore, I gifted you a power no one could ever have to make you unique and beautiful," she narrated. "What? You've been the voice in my head this whole time?" I asked. "Yes," she replied. "Why didn't you come to my aid earlier when my life was at stake?" I asked. "Like I said, your mother shut me out. I couldn't do much or communicate with you properly. I could only guide you when someone is in danger. I didn't let your power save you this time because I needed to teach you about all you need to know before I cross over. I'm losing strength and I may not be there for you anymore. Death was the only way to speak to you from the other side," she replied. "So I was dead all along?" "For 10 whole months," I asked while having cold feet. "Well, time here and there is quite different. We didn't take much time here, but over there time is too fast for humans to acknowledge," she replied. "Wait, what do you mean when you said you needed to teach me all I need to know?" I asked, looking terrified. "You don't remember? While you were in coma, your spirit came here seeking for peace. I didn't want to grant you that, so I made sure I taught you all I knew about the power I gifted you. That way you could fight and overcome all evil," she replied. "I am so shocked. So you are my mother?" I asked. "No, I'm not. It's a long story, I don't have time. Your mother came to church to cry for the fruit of the womb, but the cleaners refused to let her in, thinking she was coming to steal something. She then came to me to buy food just by the church, unknown to her that I wasn't a mortal being but an immortal. I prophesied into her life and she believed and left. She gave birth to you but refused to let me see your face as she promised, so I blessed you with a gift she was envious of," she revealed. I was shocked. I couldn't even speak further or ask any questions. "Remember all I taught you. I have to go now, my time is up," she added. "But I don't remember anything," I replied. Suddenly I woke up. When I opened my eyes, the face I saw was unfamiliar. "Sleeping Beauty, inasmuch as I love watching you sleep, I'm glad you're awake," he voiced. His voice got me so much warmth and comfort, with his lovely poetic lines made me realize he was Calvin. While waiting for the 2 minutes passed before I realized I was back to the normal world, I began to remember all that the strange girl had taught me. It felt like I knew it all along. Without thinking much, I smiled softly and turned to Calvin. "Thank you for all you have done for me. You stood by me even when I could not move," I said. He smiled softly and took my hands. "Gabby, you have no idea of how special you are and how grateful I am to you for saving the life of my mother." "Thank you, Gabby," he replied. I couldn't believe how a total stranger could be this amazing towards me. We talked about a lot of things, family, friends, and life. I began to feel like a heavy weight has been lifted from my shoulder. To cut the story short, we went for numerous dates after I got discharged. I still used my powers to do great things. I was no longer ashamed of who I was. Kelvin loved me for that. Some months later, Kelvin asked me to marry him, and I accepted because he was the only one that could make me happy and comfortable. We began to make plans for our wedding. Clara was arrested and sent to jail for attempted murder. It became a scandal for Jake and his family, the shame and fear of losing their potential clients. Jake's family began to lose their assets and valuable profits from their company. Then it hit Jake that he had made a huge mistake. He came looking for me, but Kelvin kicked against him, stepping his feet anywhere close to my house. Jake didn't give up. He came to my house almost every day to apologize to me. I still had soft spot for Jake, regardless of what transpired. Early that afternoon, Kelvin and I just came back from our court wedding. My mother was so excited that I was finally off the market. Kelvin's mom was also excited because she had longed for him to get married to a decent girl here in Nigeria before moving back. We weren't done celebrating before we heard a heavy knock at the door. I rushed to get it, since it was my apartment. To my greatest surprise, it's Jake standing at the door looking drained and restless. "What is it?" I asked. "Please forgive me. I know I hurt you too bad, but please have a place in your heart and forgive me," he cried out. "Jake, I loved you so much. If you had realized your mistakes before now, things wouldn't have turned out like this. But you threw me away like I was a garbage and never cared," I replied. "I am so sorry, Gabby. I'm a changed man. I have changed. I will do anything and everything for you. Please forgive me," he voiced. "It's too late, Jake. I'm already married to the love of my life. He is everything I have ever imagined, and I think you should leave before he gets here," I said. I could see the disappointing look on his face. He couldn't say anything till I closed the door. My family was still having a good conversation with my husband Kelvin. I was happy. Life brought me roses when no one else thought I deserved it. Now, I and Kelvin lives in Malawi with 2 kids and my younger sister. My mother passed away a few years ago, and I still miss her. Please learn from my story, and never neglect God. The end. Thanks for following the story to the end. Share your thoughts about the story and drop any lessons you learned.